stream here. If you're watching a recording, do fast forward a minute. We are going to just get started. Going to add my little chat thing. Okay. There we go. So how you doing today, honey? Fine. You don't sound fine. You sound sort of sad. Okay. All right. Well, I've got everything on. Checking, making sure I've got all my little tools in place here. All right. It's 1 o'clock. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. Thanks for, where are we? Thanks for joining me. This is Q Fong Gray, and I am simulcasting on 4 channels, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. So, hello to everybody who's out there and watching. Today is Wednesday, and it's UFO Wednesday. You know what else it is? It is the first Wednesday of the month. Therefore, it is Wine on Wednesday tonight. Can you believe it? It's been 2 months since we had our last Wine on Wednesday, and wow, I feel like I need a little bit of that wine stuff, wine juice. So if you'd like to join me this evening at 4:30, appropriate cocktail hour, thank you very much. The Zoom link is up on the Q Talk Facebook page. Other than that, let's jump into this project. So we are now in part 2 of Jamie's UFO. Let's zoom in. See what we got. So we left off last week at approximately here. I set it up a little bit. I reticulated and then some wire to create branch looking things, and then we got a great idea out there. How about fusing some silver dust onto the wire to make it really look like a branch? I thought that was a fantastic idea. It was really, really cool. So we did that, and that took a while to do too. So that said, I went ahead and set up how I want it to look. And first thing I wanted to mention was a tip. When I'm setting these things up, I can never remember where they should go. So what I do is I take out my phone. Oops. Hello. Phone. You don't want to see all that. So I take out my phone and I take a picture of it. See? Then I have a reference of where everything should go. And why did I do that? I did that because I'm going to pull all these pieces off. I just wanted to make sure I knew where all they were going before I pulled them off, because I'm going to forget. So let's see. Here we go. Pull them off. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solder these 2 pieces together. And then we'll start putting the other pieces on, I think. Remember, it's a UFO, it's a work in progress. What else do they call these things? Anyway, and so we're just processing through to see what comes of it. Now, today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm not going to use solder paste here. I'm actually going to use solder wire. And the reason why I'm doing that is because we're using PMC. And it's a little bit porous. I know these wires aren't with PMC, but these flowers are. So from everything I understand, I don't solder much of this stuff, is that you might want to use wire instead of paste, because it's so porous, and you might need a little bit more bulk out there to make it happen. So, okay, first things first, I'm going to put a little bit of flux right there, and we're going to dry flux it just a little bit. Just like so. The reason why we dry flux it is so that our solder doesn't roll away, or shall we say bubble away. And I'm going to put a piece of solder right in between. Let's see, probably need to, there we go, much better. And I'm just going to heat this whole thing. I realize that this is not the metal clay part, but I'm still going to use wire. Solder here. It flowed, but not where I wanted. So notice I'm redirecting over here to the right to make sure that it makes connection to the right one. If you actually saw it, you would have seen the solder went to this left one and didn't quite make a connection. So I moved it over. Okay. So not terribly, not a lot of fire scale, but it's nice and solid. So I'm not even going to bother pickling that. We'll put it back in, like so. Oops. I believe we were like that. Okay. So now, let's see what's next. I want to put this piece, again, let's take out my photo here. I have it to the side, and I'm just looking at what I've got going on to make sure that I am putting it where I had intended to. Is this really important? I don't know. It makes my life easier to know where I'm going with it. Okay, so since I'm putting it there, I'm going to look underneath and see where my connection is going to be. I'm going to put a little bit more flux on there, like so. And I'm going to grab just a little bit more solder. Let's see. And cut. I'm going to cut a few pieces of solder because I feel like we're going to have to do this for each one of these. Well, I know we have to do it for each one of these. So I'm just going to cut a few pieces of solder here and set it aside. And I'm doing all the steps. The first one was hard, and this next one is going to be in medium. So we're going to heat that up a little bit. Actually, maybe a little bit more flux. I feel better with a little bit more flux. And I'm going to go ahead and sort of get that flowing a little bit and get it to stick to the wire before I put my flour on. That way I know exactly where it's going to be. As you can see. Like that. Yep. Make sure I have a good, I'm looking underneath over here. That's where I'm moving my eyes to make sure that it does indeed make a connection. Okay. So we're going to heat that flour. And I know it's been 2 weeks since we worked on this project, but this was a UFO submitted by Jamie. She's been pondering this piece for several years. And, oh, there it goes. Let's see, there we go. She's been pondering this piece for a few years, not knowing what to do with these silver pieces. So I'm taking over the project and putting it together finally for her. Okay. Yay. Did you see that? So you can see how the silver turned nice and bright because it was tarnished, obviously, sitting around for a while. And then through the process of heating, it did brighten up, which is always interesting to me. Okay, so this one is going to go about there. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. This doesn't have a ton of fire scale on it, so I'll go ahead and put a little flux there and do the same thing. We'll heat that just a little bit, just to dry up that flux, as always. I really like the process of dry fluxing. A lot of people don't talk about it. Oops. Okay, I lost my solder. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I think it's really important. I think it's a very underused technique. Okay. Let's hope it stays there. It wants to fall off. Eeks. So I'm heating the wire. As you can see, the solder is already shrinking up because it's got most of the heat. But I want it to sort of stick to my wire before I put on my flour. So I wonder if Jamie's watching today. I hope she hasn't forgotten I'm working on her piece today. Okay, do I like that? I think I like that. I want it to be dispersed a bit out, and we'll do that there. I like my honeycomb board. I like my honeycomb soldering board because I get to pin these in place. And then I don't have to worry about it moving so much. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking on the back side here to make sure that it's made good contact. Okay. Now remember, when you're doing a project like this where you have wire that's thinner than this bigger piece, you got to get the big piece warm first. Because if only the wire gets hot, then the solder is not going to flow where you want it to flow. Right? There we go. And you want it to make good contact, or you want it to flow to that big piece too, and not just the wire. I know this is a scary proposition here. Did you see it getting hot? Ooh. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out and quench it and test it. Okay, so I have a teeny weeny little contact there. I don't know if I like that. Let's take a look. Quench it, give it a good tug. Oh, she's on there. Oh, she's not going anywhere. That's good. Wow, yeah. Okay, that makes me feel really good. What do you think, Andy? Is it coming together? So what do you guys think? Let's see. Let's move this in here. Andy says, you guys are very quiet out there. Very little commentary. Okay, that's good there. So we're going to move you out. Put a little bit of flux there again. Whoops. Zoom out just a little bit. Wrong direction. There we go. Okay. So where's... Oh, funny. I picked up my solder board and I lost my solder. Where did I put it? Yipes. I think it rolled off. Oh, here it is. It rolled away. Okay. Dry it a little bit. Go. Heat it. No, not that direction. I want it on the other side. There we go. There we are. Okay. So now we're going to heat it on this side. Get that flour hot. Yes, you should probably hammer. You should probably hammer your wire solder so it doesn't roll away. I know, totally forgot about that today. Okay, did you see it sink? Again, let's quench it and check it and see if it's done its thing. Okay. Oh, so I see Jamie has joined us. I'm glad you like it. Okay, I'm giving it a really good tug. Okay, I don't love this connection. You see, it's only connected right there, but there's plenty of room for it to connect some more. So let's see, I think I'm gonna put this now on my pumice, so everything will stay where it should. And I'm gonna do it from this side. Grab some more solder, drop it on the floor. Wait, hold on, I'm connected to my phone here. Drop it again. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more solder on this back side and get this soldered a little bit. I want just a little bit better of a solder joint. Okay. Again, with the flux, like so. And the reason why I did it with the flowers facing up, because I wanted to be able to keep track of the flowers and know where they're going instead of doing it this way. Although, frankly, doing it this way would have probably been a little bit easier, but there was just no real way to assure that it was going to be where I wanted it to be. So you got to make those decisions when you're working as to what is the most practical way of doing this. So again, here what I'm doing is going to heat the whole wire, but I'm really heating the flower more than anything because it's a much bigger piece of metal. This is where soldering always goes wrong, or a lot of times goes wrong for people, is they're not heating the right pieces. Come on. Go. There we go. Nice connection. Okay, I'll show you here in a second. So you can see much nicer connection in there. You know, since I'm here, I'm going to do more in that middle one. So you can even see, even in the camera, you can see a bit of a gap there. So I'm going to do that middle one too. Why? Because I can. And again, what's nice about the pumice is by pushing it where I want it to be, it'll keep the pieces stable so they don't fall off should anybody decide to unsolder. But you know, again, because this isn't my piece, I'm going to be extra diligent about solder. So I'm going to do the other two again also. Just adding a little more solder because I don't want this to fall apart. Okay, cut 2 more pieces of solder. One right there. And one right there. I'm going to start with the middle one first. So I'm just going to heat that flower really nicely. So you know what's interesting is I never used pumice before until I was in class one day and a student said, "Why don't you use pumice?" I was like, huh. I never thought about it. Well, let me say I have not gone back from it since. Beautiful. So you see a really nice long connection here. And here you have more contact than I did before. Okay, let's quench that. So I know that's really good. This middle one, yeah, nice and stable. All right, let's go ahead and put this into the pickle. And you know what, I think I'm gonna make a couple leaves to go on top. I've already made one, sort of two, but I'll show you how I'm making them. So I'm using all scrap, and I'm using a curved pair of shears. People always ask about curved shears. Most people don't even own them. But what's nice about curved shears is exactly what I'm doing now. Curved shears cut curves really nicely, and it is nearly impossible to cut straight with them. But straight shears can cut curves, although not nicely, or not easily, but they can definitely cut straight. So you can definitely do this with your straight shears. So the question is, what size bowl am I using? I think this is a 4-inch bowl I bought from IKEA. Let's take a look. Okay, 5-inch, 4 3/4 inch. If you don't have an IKEA near you, you can buy a dog bowl. the steel dog bowls work really well. Or if you go up to Salvation Army, you might be able to find a small steel mixing bowl. Okay, so I've cut a couple of leaves. I actually have one already in the pickle, but I'm going to try reticulating this. So I'm going to go through a couple steps of heating and pickling and then reticulating. Someone out there said they bought theirs from Amazon, so you might want to take a look. But the pumice you can get from the Urban Beater. And we don't sell 3 pounds of pumice, and the reason why is because, you know what? Who really wants 3 pounds of pumice? I don't. Well, I do because we sell it. But okay, so I threw the leaves into the pickle. In the meantime, I'm going to make a... Oh, that's hot. It was on the solder board. I'm going to make a bail out of that third piece of wire we had from the other day. So hopefully it's going to be the vision I have for it. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to use my multi-looping plier. I don't know. Let's start small. Since I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, I'm going to start small and I'm going to go to the third largest size. And we'll see. So I'm just going to bend this, wow, over. Okay, that's a really hard piece of metal. Okay. Well, I'm glad I went to that size because this thing is huge. Not as big as I thought it would, not as small as I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to help myself since this is really hard. That's another lesson. Don't struggle with things. You have tools. Use them. There we go. It's going to go like this. Therefore, this is... So I'm thinking this through. This bail has to go like this for the chain to go through. So I'm bending these back forward, and you'll see what I'm doing here in a second. And I think I'll go on top and below that piece. So there's my bail. Okay, let's grab everything out of the pickle. So what I'm thinking is going like so. I don't know. Actually, maybe we'll bend this guy. I don't know. What are we doing? Do we like that? Anybody? Honey, what do you think? I don't know if I like that. We're feeling like it's a little busy. Okay, let's pull out the leaves and see if that changes what we're doing. So this one, oh, hold on. I need to rinse that off first. So this one was reticulated. You probably can't see that in the camera, but I did that to give it some texture. So what I was thinking for this piece is maybe do something like this. Because I thought the flowers weren't quite enough. Oh, yeah, oh, that's nice. And then I happen to have, okay, so these are water castings that were just sort of sitting here. Again, more scrap. I was thinking maybe too much? Too little? Too what? Let's zoom in. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that belongs there. So maybe we go... Linda liked it with the water casting? Okay. What do you think, Jamie? What do you... I know you're watching. So one yes, one no. Jamie, since it's her piece, she loves the water casting, so Jamie gets the yes then. Sort of fun. Okay. So now, okay, so I think this is sort of where we're going with this. I still have to reticulate that leaf. This one's been reticulated, which is nice. But now the bale. The bale's killing me, dude. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. I think I'm going to do a blind bale. I think that we should do like a half round back here so that the chain just runs through like that. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, decision made. I know, I made it without you. It was an executive decision. Do we want another branch out of here? No. Yes, no, maybe. Wait. Oh, see, so she's in agreement. That's good. Do we want to cut this off? Let's think about that for half a second here. I think I do want to cut this. Okay, get out my heavy duty cutters because it's going to break my Lindströms. Glad we're on the same page. You know, it's a process, right? Designing is a process. And we should give ourselves that time and leisure. Okay. And then this here. I don't know what you mean, Andy. But the leaf won't sit on top of the flower. I'm just placing it. Oh, yeah. Okay. I dig it. I like it. It gives it that 3 thing again. I'm not always real keen on the 2 thing. And so there we are. Okay. So what's the next step? I'm going to reticulate this one. I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to solder these 2 together because I like that. Oops. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Okay, so what's up next? I'm going to reticulate this leaf just to make it match this bigger leaf. Okay. And then I'm going to solder these 2 together before I put it on. And then I'm going to solder these together. Like so. Except because there's too much surface on here, we'll go ahead and file that down a bit. So I'm going to grab a file to give it a nice smooth surface because of all of the silver dust. I know we put silver dust on it only to take it off, but we want a good connection here. We don't want anything falling apart. Good. And I'm going to take out something curved to do this. Round file. Again, just to create a smooth surface. This is important if you want a good connection. There's a little nub hanging out here. I have that file. There we are. Okay, so back here, I feel a lot of roughness. And I like Jamie, so I'm not going to leave this rough. I'm going to just take off some of that roughness. Because, you know, we want the wearer to enjoy it. Well, unless they're masochists, then that's a different story. Have any of you guys watched Billions yet? Yeah. If you've watched Billions with Paul Giamatti, you'll know exactly where I'm going with this. So you guys need to start watching Billions so we can talk about it at Wine on Wednesday. I think there was only 3 seasons so far. Much better. Always stroking my metal. I'm thinking here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to pull out my my solder paste. Why would I bother not doing that? We'll solder these two pieces together. I didn't catch that, honey. Say that again. Well, thank you for doing that, saying that you would do it for me too. So I'm not being. Did you see how I soldered the water castings? I wasn't being real diligent about where it went because I just want it to be organic, like this piece. So here, I've already heated it once. I'm heating it again. You know, when you're reticulating, you want to heat it a couple times and get some surface tension going. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and quench this. Still clean on the back, so I'm not going to pickle it. This one, though, needs to be pickled for sure. Wow, we're a little stuck. Okay. Quench and pickle. We're going to put some solder paste on here and solder this together. I'm putting a lot of solder paste on there. Why? Because it's a pretty gappy little piece. And I just want to make sure it is on there. And you know what? On this one, what's really cool is I don't care that the soldering is messy because the whole thing's organic. You want it to be messy, right? Right. Well, so we'll heat up here, heat the whole thing just a little tiny bit. But mostly up here, where it matters. Oh, I can't say I feel good about it. Nope, not on there. All right, we're gonna quench and pickle this, I think. Let's see what happens here. Oops. Actually, I am gonna test fate here. I'm going to put this thing upside down again, back into the pumice. Now that it's pretty much where I want it to be, but I know it's not a good joint, I'm going to put it like so. Okay. Put some flux on there. Take out a little bit of wire solder. Because you know what? I know, as much as I tell you guys that solder does not fill, well, I'm going to make it fill this area this time. Right there. It's a lot of solder, I know. But it's a huge gap. I'm cheating. I'm officially cheating. on, baby. There you go. There you go. Nice. Okay, I don't know if you guys could see that, but it went right in there. Yay me. Let's go ahead and pickle this. Let's go get our leaf out before we get too far. Okay, back in the pickle, leaf out. Reticulate this one more time. Did it do what I wanted to do? That's a question. I know I totally tempted fate by cutting this first instead of cutting it after. I'm just trying different things. Okay, I'm gonna pickle that one more time. I'm gonna go one more round of heating here because I'm looking for a non-smooth surface. And by going through the process of heating and pickling, you're changing the surface and thereby creating surface tension. And that's what you're looking for when you are doing reticulation. And since we're waiting for the pickle, I might as well just do this too. So this is a third piece. Just in case that second piece doesn't turn out, I'm giving myself a plan B here. So, you know, all of this was scrap material, and this is why I save scrap material, is so I can do things like this and have fun with it. And another thing too is even the water casting was saved from water castings I had made previously, and it was just sort of put it to use. Solder goddess, I like that. But I prefer fire goddess. Just saying, just saying. Ah, stuck again on my sideboard. There we go. Okay, throw that. This one's coming along sort of nicely. A little bit better than that other one. Let's see, where is it? Lost in my pickle pot is where it is. There it is. Oop. Alright. Okay, still got some stuff on it, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and heat it one more time because I really don't like the smooth surface. But like I said, I have a plan B going with that third leaf. So if this one doesn't turn out, we'll do the other one. Again, I'm just looking. Ooh, that's a nice curl. Oh, I like you. Okay. See, look, it curled up. It looks like a leaf. Yay. All right, so now back into the pickle. Now it makes me want to do this one just a little bit more. I know. Now I'm tempting everything because that's what we do. This is how we learn, right? You got to try it. I wouldn't be sitting here trying it with gold, but I would try it with silver. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Did you see that curl up there too? Okay, I dig it. This is the leaf. I've got myself 2 good leaves. That's what I wanted. If I can get it off the board. I'm going to try not to flick myself with this stuff. Yeah, go that direction. Okay. Into the pickle. Let's grab the other piece out. All right. Check our connections. Make sure we feel good about it. Ooh, not a good connection. See, I'm wiggling it around. So this one was not a good connection. The first one seem to have come apart a little bit. So we're going to have to do one more round. You know, a lot of people get frustrated when they have to solder multiple times. And yeah, I can see where the frustration would come in. But sometimes it just sort of is what it is. And I'm just going to put a bit of solder there. Or not solder, I'm sorry. A little bit of flux there. Dry flux it a little bit. Okay. Heat all the pieces and then heat the joint. Remember, always heat the pieces a little bit because everybody's got to get evenly hot for this to happen. And I see the solder moving to the one side and not the other. That's why I'm shifting. There we go. I'm shifting to ask the solder to move where I want it to be. That's the key. Yeah, that's not going anywhere at this point. We are in. Okay, there it is. I like it. Jamie, if you don't like it, you can always bend this in or cut this off later. Okay, we'll put this back on here. And let's go check on the leaves and solder those babies on. Leaf 1, 2, and leaf 3. Okay. Got some magnesia stuck on the back, so I'm going to go ahead and brush that off. I don't know why I'm using that brush when I could be using this brush, much nicer. Okay, so I pulled out what I thought was the leaf out of my pickle. It was a piece of pumice. Whoops. Okay. She's quite dirty. Okay, so we're actually almost done with this. So it's really dirty from the solder board, so you're gonna have to make sure that you clean that off. So if you're doing what I'm doing and you've taken some of the solder board with you, or stuck on the solder board, you gotta make sure that these pieces are clean, or else it's not going to solder, because it's a barrier, right, between your solder and your metal. So make sure you clean that off, brass brush, sand, or something. I'm actually going to give a little bit extra sanding right there. There we go. I want to place it first before I put any solder on there. Oh, actually, I am going to do it that way. Oh. That right there. Oh, see, it's, you know what? It's finding its home, and I like that. Yeah. Okay. Do we want the third one? Let's see. I don't know if we want the third one, but we'll see. Actually, that third one's sort of cool. Okay, I think the third one might be going on there. Okay. So instead of fussing around with it anymore, I'm going to go ahead and start placing the solder. I'm just putting solder paste at this point because I can. It's going to be a lot easier to use. So I'm just putting solder paste on the back side there. And you see how that leaf wanted to fall down? I'm just going to put some pumice under it to push it up. Just like that. Okay. Still debating on this third leaf. You know what? Nope. Okay, wish me luck. Here we go. And notice I'm heating underneath to get that wire hot. Because this is gonna not be particularly easy. It's going to be really hard to see when the solder has flowed. I'm just hoping that it does. And I'm going mostly by feel here. Ugh, fingers crossed. Before I do anything, let's go to the back and take a look. So here I'm just going to take a look and see. Oh, that flower, that one's on. That's nice. Oh, I think he's on too. Ah, yeah. You see the focus in my face? I'm like, stress. Yes. They're all on. Yay. Okay, into the pickle. Let's make that bail on the backside, that hidden bail. I'm just going to take out a little bit of wire that I have here. Let's see, what do I have? Again, me and my scrap. I think I'm going to use this. This is half round. Do I have another piece? It's just a little piece of half round wire. And lo and behold, obviously it was off of a ring somewhere along the line. So I'm just gonna snip this side, make it nice and flat. And I'm gonna snip, oh, I'm guessing here. Let's move out just a little bit. And make it a nicer bend. You wouldn't have melted it, Jamie, if I was sitting there next to you, right? So depending on, where's Jamie commenting on? Facebook, honey? Twitch. So for those of you who are on Facebook, Jamie's on Twitch, and she says she totally would have melted it, but have confidence. If I was sitting there, you wouldn't melt it. Okay. So there's my hook on the back. I feel like it's a little bit big, so we're going to trim that down just a little bit more. And then I'll put it on the back here and we'll decide how we want to move forward with that. Okay, let's see how we're doing in the pickle. Oh, looking pretty clean and pretty. There it is. I continue to check the pieces. Okay, so we've got a bit of, we'll call it schmutz on the back side here. Let's see if I can clean that off. Don't know why it's all black like that. I think that's just dirt. Okay. So here let's see. I still feel like this might be a little bit big, but this is where I'm headed with it. You see that? Maybe not. I think we're good. Okay. Back into the pumice, and I'm going to freehand it. If you can't, you'll pull out a third hand to do this. And a pair of tweezers. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to position my hand and figure out where exactly I want this before I turn on my torch. Let's go back up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Yep, we'll put it like so. I'm looking for a flat spot, make sure it's nice and flat. All right, grab some easy solder paste. I'm just dipping it right in. Like so. You see that? And we'll put it right down like, okay, I have to think about this before I do it. Make sure I do it where I want it to be. Okay. Okie dokie. So right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this piece first, and then I'll put my jump ring down, or my, whatever you want to call this, my half round, my 1/3 round. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and cover the other spots up, just so I don't open up any other solder joints, because that would be bad. Heat it. I'm heating the wires a little bit because that's where I'm going to put my jump ring. Heat the whole thing and then heat at the joints. If this doesn't happen, I'm going to pull out my Gentech. It'll be even easier than doing it with this big torch. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it done. Right at the joint. There's one. Yay. I know that right one went. I shifted. Did you see that? But I think it did it. Let's see. Oh, yes. Yeah. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at it from the side. That is not moving anywhere. There it is. What do you think? Okay, into the pickle you go, baby doll. I'll be back for you in just a second. So that was a UFO. That was a UFO for today. That is Jamie's, I don't know, what are we calling it? I'm going to call him Cherry Blossom Project that she's had around for, I believe, 5 years on her workbench waiting for it to be finished. So if you guys are looking to have something finished that you just can't seem to finish, send a picture to me. Let's see if we can make it work. I have a couple more lined up. I have Pam's lined up, I believe, for next week. And then I know that Kim sent one in. Hers won't be till September. But anyway, so what else is going on? We've got Virtually Ever Crafting. There's still a coupon. It's on the virtuallyevercrafting.com homepage. If you haven't registered already, the coupon's still good until August 15th. We have Wine on Wednesday tonight. I'm going to be there. Hopefully some of you will be there too. And then we have a Zoom along on Friday. I have a lot of bench work to do this week. So I will be definitely Zooming along on Friday. And for those of you who have not joined us, do join us. We're just hanging out at the bench because you know what? Working at the bench alone sort of sucks. So that's an opportunity. And then you can ask questions if you want to, and you can ask for inspiration, you know, or show us what you're doing and seeing if we can maybe as a group make it better for you. Okay, so Miss Jamie, you ready? Here it is. Ta-da! Oops, a little hard to see. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. I would definitely oxidize this. Do you want me to oxidize it or are you going to oxidize it? I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to oxidize it real quick before we go because it's not quite one yet. We have a few minutes. So I'm going to go grab some black max because it needs to be oxidized. Hold on. Okay, so I'm using black mass. You can get this from Rio Grande. It's a great oxidizer for silver because it's instant. But I'm not going to finish this piece completely. I'm going to make Jamie do the final bit of it. So I'll tell you what your homework is going to be to finish this piece, but I'll do it after I'm done oxidizing. So you'll polish this until you're happy, right? But see how quickly this is happening? This is why we like Black Max, because it is instantaneous. So what you'll do, anytime you use oxidizer, you need to make sure that you rinse it. Okay? And then it'll neutralize it. Rinse it with water. And it'll neutralize the oxidant, or else it will just keep working. And we don't want that. Okay. Keep the stuff off your hands. It is hydrochloric acid. Not 100%, but I think it was 4% by volume, so it's not much, but it's not good for you either. So keep your fingers off of there. Okay. And of course, if you want to oxidize this more when you get it back, you can do that. Duh. So I just dipped it in water to rinse it off. We'll dry this off nicely. And then we're going to put a brush to it. Well, that brush doesn't like me, so we'll go do the smaller brush. And I keep switching up what I'm doing because I'm just adapting to the piece, right? Don't like this either, had a feeling. Had a feeling we were going to go to steel wool. Now, I did not oxidize the branch because my verdict is out on it. I don't know if I want to, so I'm going to do this first and figure that out. And, you know, that's how you want to play with some of this stuff when you're playing. Yeah, look at that. So Jamie's homework is going to be, you know, I feel rough spots on the back of this because of the branch. I would take out sandpaper and on something like this and just sand it. And if you happen to have any of these discs, sanding discs for your flex shaft, I would just hit it with a sanding disc. It'll go really, really, really fast. Actually, I'm not digging this either with my steel wool. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to hit it with a brass cup on my flex shaft. Because now I'm just curious to see how what this is going to look like, and I'm sure you guys want to see it too, right? Because all this work, and I'm not going to give you the reveal. Nah, I wouldn't do that to you. Oops. Hold on here. There we go. I like this guy. So we have these on our website. It makes really quick work of some of this stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Should have started with that. Hit everything that you want polished. See, look, it's coming right up. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the back again. I'm going to give Jamie a little bit of homework. Oops. Hold on, I dropped something. Okay. Look at that. This is so cool. Okay, I'm going to have to admit, I really didn't like these flowers when they came to me, but now that we've oxidized them and given it, I think it gives it a lot of life. And you can see all these little details in here that she has in the petals, which before it was oxidized, you really couldn't see it. And it just makes it oh so nice. I'm using a Pro Polish pad just because I can. And I'm liking this piece so much more now with all the highlights and the lowlights in it. Just, yeah, digging it. Okay. I can sit here and do this all day. I should probably stop, huh? It's been an hour. All right. Wow. There it is. Pretty cool from before and after. Yay. And then we've got our loop in the back. Oh, I have a chain. I have a chain sitting right here. Let's take a look. Oops. There we go. Huh. Well, okay. Another finished piece. I'm pretty happy with it, if I don't say so myself. Anyway, well, everybody, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for, following along. I know some of this stuff can get a little tedious. I'm trying to get it to move along, but we get a great result from it, right? All right. So I'll see you guys tonight at Wine on Wednesday. And if not, I'll see you at the Zoom Along on Friday. I'll be back on Monday with another makeover project and next Wednesday with another UFO. Until then, have a great week. It's so pretty outside. Time to go enjoy what's out there. All right. Bye. Oh, and you're welcome, Jamie.